Hi and welcome back to FindersBeepers History Seekers. And this week it was the second explore in Italy. And you know what? I absolutely loved this one because of how scared I felt at points. It was an asylum, but it wasn't just an asylum like next door to a housing estate or something. It was quite a distance from anywhere. It was in the middle of nowhere. It was very, very dark. The views across the valley were fantastic. But the place itself was just so silent and creepy. It was just so strange. Right, made it over. Just noticed there's a clock up there, look. I told you this was an older building. That's definitely older. But yeah. I also told you every explorer I do in Italy there's bells. Don't know if you can hear them. Some will be graffiti, but looking at these in here, oh my lord. These are definitely pictures done by people with a deranged mind. I don't know if you can hear that noise. Listen. It's like a dull thump. Echoing right through the building. And the thing that I want to compare it to is something I definitely don't want it to be, is someone's head thumping on a door, banging on the door. Not that sort of banging, but I don't like it. Now, when I first got to this place, I went to the main gates at the front, and I think the locals must know that people try and get in there. It was actually quite hard to get in this place. Wherever you looked round the buildings, there was extra fences up that seemed to be higher and higher the further you went round. So I sneaked round the back in the car, drove round, parked on somebody's drive, and found quite a dodgy way of getting over. The wall was falling down. The fence was a bit sort of shaky. It was all a bit freaky, to be fair. It was all a bit dangerous. Oh my lord. Imagine coming sitting here and watching the sun go down. Now you see, if I'd got my drone and it was the daytime, it would have been brilliant flying it up towards this building with me sat in here. It looks so good. But where I'm sat at the moment, right on the edge with my legs dangling, at least one person has been thrown off here by another inmate. They're not inmates, patient. One patient threw the other patient off here in the late 1800s to his death at the bottom, which he would be, to be fair. But yeah, it's a bit scary, isn't it? So going back into a bit of the history of the place, it was built in the 1700s, originally for wealthy families, to put any of their family that may have medical problems, but mainly sort of psychiatric mental problem type things. It then got taken over in the early 1800s and turned into just a mass, I want to say prison, because it basically is a prison, but a mass building for anybody, basically. That it was the criminally insane they eventually put in there. There was the main front building, the one that we went in, and then all the buildings behind. At the time, I actually thought that they were from like the 1950s or something, but actually looking online, 90% of those buildings that are on that land were built in the 1800s. The main big building at the front was in the 1700s, plus a couple of extra ones, and the rest were built in the 1800s. So the place is really, really old. And some of the stuff that must have gone off there over the years is crazy. Like I mentioned to you, through the late 1800s, there was a murder a month. One murder every month in that place. That just couldn't happen these days, but obviously it was something they couldn't avoid unless they locked them all down individually. Really, really freaky place. And there was the one murder that stood out to me, and that was when I was up at the top, looking across, looking down, and thinking this is really high. And that's where one of the inmates got picked up and thrown off over the edge to splat on the floor, I'm guessing, as well. Very, very scary place to be. Imagine being in somewhere like that in the 1800s. You just wouldn't want to be there.
I suppose it could have been like the sort of therapy where you write stuff down or you draw it, and rather than actually acting it out, you just do it in painting, so you don't like actually kill someone, you just draw someone with a gun. What the hell? What's wrong with their hands? They're the freakiest hands I've ever seen. And the freakiest eyes to go with it. Jesus Christ.
Now, we got talking about the sort of people that were in this place, and at first it would have just been anybody that, like I mentioned before, anybody that got anything mildly wrong with them, whether that be had fits, maybe somebody, I know somebody commented about an asylum that's local to me, Middlewood Asylum, which actually was my first ever explore when I was 16 years old. I went and slept in the bell tower with some of my friends on Halloween, just after watching Scream, the film, in 1996 when it first came out. Anyway, people got put in there for masturbation. So literally knocking one out, like experimenting. They got put in there because they were classed as evil and there was something mentally wrong with them. So if you got put in somewhere like that for that, slowly you'd probably go mad, because you were stuck in a cell, you were given drugs, you were operated on, they'd put a hole in the side of your head, scoop little bits of brain out, they'd do electric shock therapy, there'd be all sorts going off. So he just doesn't even bear thinking. But then the criminally insane, that's a whole different breed. They're not just the people that have just been put in there to get them out the way because maybe they're a bit of an embarrassment or whatever. These are people that have clearly like killed people or plotted to kill people, and they're out of their mind. And somebody commented in there, that's the sort of people you can't even tell. They are just like normal, everyday people. They're not screaming, running round, waving their arms round. They're just regular people that are just, their mind works in a different way, and it's not a very good different way.
Right, you're not going to believe this room, to be fair, because compared to the rest of the place, it's amazing. It is vandalised, but I can imagine it. I can imagine them all standing and watching the patients down in the centre bit below, and this is where the boy's supposed to play the piano. Look at this. So we go from empty, freaky rooms, and I've put a couple of torches in here already, but look at this. How amazing is this place? The tiles on the floor are amazing to start with. I'm going to stand in this middle bit. Look, wish I could light it up a bit better for you. It would have been good in the day, I suppose. But the artwork seems to have gone off that a little bit. You can still see something, but you can see it on there, look. It's really, really good.
Now, quite a lot of people commented on how much they'd enjoyed this video, and I was a bit unsure whether people would because of empty rooms, which is always a worry, but I think there was enough stuff in there to show you that was good and like different to elsewhere. So the big room with the balcony around it, the weird pictures of the people with the knives and the guns, the thing that went over your head. There was all sorts in there. But it also shocked me that everybody that watched it loved it, but not many people watched it. I don't know whether YouTube just didn't like the video, they didn't like the title, and they've just not shared it as much, because they do that sometimes. If they don't think it's quite suitable because of the title of the video, they'll just not share it. But the views were really low, and I was quite disappointed, because the place itself is brilliant. But moving on to some of the things I've just talked about.
Oh, it's like a treatment room, look. Why is the bed that shape? Like, it's like you wouldn't be able to move. You'd just be held in position. I suppose that's what they want. They don't want you moving about, do they? There's another one over here. What's that for? I feel like that goes over your head. What torture do they do with that? Yeah, look. What is that for? I definitely feel like that. It's got like an electric bit on it there, look. I definitely feel like you would lay on there with that over your face. Oh, that'd freak me out.
Now, the majority of people that commented thought that the thing that I found on the bed was for electric shock therapy. I don't know. I can't tell you if that's true. Whether that went over your head and that machine at the side was something to do with it, I don't know. I don't know enough about these things, but a lot of people seem to think the same. There was one person that said that they thought that went on your leg, to stop the sheets going over your leg, but I don't know. Once again, I'm not 100% sure on that one. You'll have to do a bit more research for me.
Right, now I'm even more confused. And I don't know why I didn't notice this before. It's something to do with the vets. Look, Servicio Veterinario. Oh, bloody hell. That is really strange. What an odd thing to find here.
Next up was the paperwork that I found that ended up being about horses. Now, it turns out in the late 80s, 90s and 2000s, right next door to this place, there was not a zoo, but somewhere that they looked after animals, and horses were one of those. So I wonder if some of the documentation from that had been moved across into the main building. Maybe they'd been using one of the rooms or something like that. So that seems to explain that. So finally, we've got some evidence of something, and it makes sense, because most things don't make sense.
I think they get a better sort of view of scale down here, because if you think that door, I'll stand under this one, that door is 9 foot. So that's 9 foot. So how big is that picture? It is massive. Like, this goes 2 floors up. That picture's so good. Yeah, what's this one depict then? Oh, no, I thought it was somebody on a hospital bed. But it's actually someone telling a story, I think.
And then on to the amazing room with the balconies and the artwork. Can you imagine what that place looked like when it was first done up? How amazing and grand it must have looked. How vibrant the colours would have been in there. And then the thought of the little boy playing the piano. It's all a bit freaky and sad in it, really. But amazing. Like, the artwork was fantastic. And I've never seen a room like that. I was a bit scared walking on that balcony round. I acted like I wasn't, but it was creaking a lot. So I was very worried about that. But we didn't die, and we're all good. And talking about not dying, up next.
Yeah, as long as my eye don't fall off, we're good. I thought I'd just... Literally did almost fall then.
So, the big windows at the top. How many people loved me standing and sitting up there and dangling my legs? I did, but I know a lot of you didn't. I just love doing it, and if you want me to enjoy it, that's the sort of thing I'm going to enjoy more than anything else. I will say, though, I was very lucky, because what happened was I sort of stepped back a bit, back in towards the room, and I started to fall backwards, so I pushed myself forwards, and that would have been the dangerous bit, because I could have gone head first straight out the window, but I didn't, so we're okay, so don't panic.
I don't actually know where this goes. I don't remember a long bit like this on the building. It's the original building, it's not been added on. Why is it that corridors freak people out more than normal rooms? Is it because you're like enclosed a little bit? What is that? I thought it was a coffin at first. Where does this go? It's a never-ending tunnel. It's like I can't see the end of it either. It's just pitch black. Oh my God. It goes on for miles. Where is this going? Like just as I'm thinking I'm going to be able to see the wall at the end, it carries on and carries on. This is bizarre. Oh my God. Is this the end? Have we found the end? Yeah, we have. Have we? Oh no, it goes round the corner. The air's weird in here. It's really cold. The roof's falling in. I thought I could see a light then. I think it's just a reflection. My God, this is mad. Why is it so long? Oh, look. I don't know what this bit is. There is a table and chairs, I think, around that corner. I heard that noise again. I heard that noise again. Right, we'll carry on. Don't you think this is weird? Oh God, that scared me. Don't you think this is weird? Like, why would there be this long passage? Like, ridiculously long as well. What purpose did it serve? Right, see where it goes. The thing is, if I get up here and then somebody comes, there's nowhere I can go. I wonder if I can get out up here. Oh, is that a gate I can see at the end? I can see what looks like metal bars at the end of here. Oh, people have climbed it. Oh no, they have climbed over it. What is this? I don't know whether I should, you know.
And finally, the tunnel. You know what? It's something I've not stopped thinking about. I really wish I'd climbed over that gate. I was exhausted, to be fair. I'd climbed over things. It'd been a nightmare to get in that place to start with. I was already tired. It was really, really late, and I knew I'd got to get back to that hotel fast. So I wish I'd climbed over that gate and seen what was on the other side, though, because I reckon it would have led to the morgue. A lot of you thought the same. A lot of you thought definitely the morgue. They'd keep a tunnel out of the way so the other patients couldn't see the dead bodies being stretchered off or whatever, or they could bring people in or bring things in and it not be seen. So for me, I think it probably would have been the morgue tunnel, and I really wish I'd gone and climbed over that gate. But I just didn't want to get stuck. At the end of the day, there would have been nothing worse than me getting stuck there and having no way of getting anyone to get me out. I wouldn't have known what to do. So it is what it is. But I hope you've enjoyed the video. I really, really like this place. If you've not seen it, get over and watch it. Go and watch it again. Share it. Help me out with this one, because I don't know why it didn't get the views that it should have done. It's a lot less than normal. But I think people enjoyed it that watched it. So thank you for that. Right, I'll see you later. Oh, and subscribe. Please subscribe and get over to the second channel, Beeper Beef, because I've got a new editor and we're going to get some new cracking videos on there soon. Right, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.